What do you mean this car wasn't made for Americans? It's being sold in America. The world is bigger than the North American auto market, and the Lexus CT200h is an example of this. 83 men all pooping at the same time. They said there was gonna get snow tomorrow. Oh, they're just trying to scare us. Now let me see what's inside your underwear. My name's Donnie Download Donahue, and I like looking at men's underwear. Who is this? I just like looking at men's underwear on the floor. He's not even... He doesn't even want to look at guys. I just like the underwear. He's wearing a wife beater, belly exposed, a pile of underwear in his ranch house in Sellersville, Pennsylvania. The snow is finally melting on the East Coast, and I know this footage is from before the snow, but one thing about cloth floor mats is that they soak up salt and salt brine and cinders and all that stuff, and they're difficult to clean. Lasfit doesn't have that problem. These are laser cut floor mats made to fit perfectly into your vehicle. This is a 2021 Honda CR-V. Great thing about Lasfit is that they don't just cover the floor, they cover the sides and up behind the pedals as well. All that place where dirt and grime likes to collect, and you fold yourself up into a little pretzel to start vacuuming it out. Nope. With Lasfit, just take the floor mats out, hose them off, let them dry, put them back in, you're done. You can beat these things up, they're great. So click on the link in the description and use code AUGD1 to save money on the Lasfit website. Thank you so much, Lasfit, for sponsoring regular car reviews. You guys are aces. Once again, that's use code AUGD1 and click the link on the description to save money on the Lasfit website. You've seen this car, this mid-sized hatch. You've seen it now and again, and you've wondered, looks weird. It looks familiar, but every proportion and line is a little strange, like discovering a new kink. Why am I Googling imperfect cell absorbing Android 16 over and over? Congratulations, single sock. Now that you've lost your partner, you have a new assignment. This sleek hatchback is slow.
So this is going to be merged with 4 people in the car.
It's worst case.
Yeah. So it's trying. There's full blast. You know, we're getting up there. We're 60 by the end of the ramp. This is
fine.
It's okay.
It has visual references to the IS300, but this is just a Toyota Prius driveline pushing a Corolla or Matrix body. You get 134 horsepower, that's combined. The gas engine makes 98 horsepower and the electric motor is rated at 80 horsepower. I regret to inform you, that's more than 134 horsepower. Yeah, I know. The electric motor won't give you full electrons unless you're in EV mode and the gas engine is turned off. I once knew a guy whose kink was busting on a hardwood floor. I'll never lie to you. The 200 in CT200h is supposed to say that the combined power is intended to equal that of a typical power output of a 2-liter engine. Whatever. I don't care. Because the CT200h is too good looking. And it's better made than a Prius. Because this is an all-Japan build. No US or Mexico assembly. When Toyota cares, they build their cars at home. The Land Cruiser 200 series, the LFA, the LS400, 3rd Gen 4Runner. When Toyota isn't messing around, they won't trust anybody but their home staff to assemble the cars. CT200h, the official car of using a rapidograph to draw Adrian Brody's face on your Temu Hitachi magic wand. So what you're left with is a stylish 4-door hatch that will outlast most other commuter cars on the road and look unique doing it. CT200h. Brought to you by using K'NEX to build a homemade foreskin restoration kit because the CT200h wasn't the economy car you thought it would be, and now you can't afford a 3D printer. And Toyota didn't try to capture the American market with the CT200H. It was successful in Japan, Australia, UK, Germany, because it was the correct size. But in North America, it's just a little bit too small. A Prius is longer, wider, and has that big hatch in the back. This has a low roof, raked rear deck, and low ground clearance. Put big boxes in the CT200H and you'll think, okay, I folded the rear seats down, we're good, it fits. And then you try to close the hatch and discover that it won't close because the top of your box is hitting the rear glass because the hatch is aligned so sharply.
Every day is brown day. Every day is brown day. Every day is brown day. I can't wipe enough. I can't. Why is the toilet paper turning into rope?
My wife's dental dam is shaped like James Buchanan.
Toyota only sold this in the United States from 2011 until 2017, while in other markets it continued until 2022.
I carried the bubbling torch in the cum Olympics.
Every now and again, a manufacturer will do this. They'll bring a foreign luxury car into the United States expecting it to sell well because people in Zabrovka loved it, and then the car fails. That was the case with the Buick Regal Tour X, failure. Jaguar XJ8, sold kinda, not really, flop. Scion IQ, failure. Volkswagen Arteon R, underwhelming sales. Americans looked at this four-door hatch that's a little larger than small and thought,
why am I paying for a Lexus badge when the inside is making me squeeze my hoagie thighs together? I can't properly fart in this car. The farts keep going up inside my lower intestine, where they marinate and get extra juicy.
CT200H, the official car of Ouch My Balls, the movie. And Toyota says the CT in CT200H stands for Compact Touring. What? This is a touring vehicle? Touring in the United States means road trip. And we, regardless of gender, want to manspread on a road trip. And for our viewers in Ireland, UK, France, Germany, the Rally Championship, Northern countries, Brazil, New Zealand, Australia, Greece, Italy, Azerbaijan, the road trip means anything over 10 hours. That's the minimum time you need to call a drive a road trip. 9 hours is a bit of a drive. 5 hours is a ways. 3 hours is a hike, and anything under that is, I gotta fill up before I go. This is not a touring car. Christ, is it good looking. It's not often that any manufacturer can make a modern car that looks good from every angle, especially in a world filled with endless safety regulations that just blob out car dimensions. So let's talk about fashion. You know, clothing. On one hand, you have comfort. A hoodie and sweatpants. You know, that keeps you warm. Never needs ironing. That pairing is soft and asks nothing from you. You can get sweatpants with cargo pockets. You have enough room for all your stuff. Why wear anything else? Get designer sweatpants if you want. That's your Toyota Prius, your sweatpants Toyota Prius. It will never have style, no matter how expensive it is. But on the other hand, you have the male suit. The slacks, dress shirt, tie, maybe vest if you're Raymond Reddington, and a blazer. Overcoat if you're feeling fancy. I'd skip out on the fedora. You can only wear a fedora if you collect Social Security. That's the rule. Anything under that, you look like you run loss prevention at the PA rent fair. Men's fashion can never really be truly comfortable. You will always be in a state of slight discomfort. Slacks don't stretch. A starched shirt, well, that needs to stay tucked in. You have to have the right belt. You have to stand up straight. If you dress in the classical style and you slouch, it's gonna look wrong. Spine straight, shoulders back, hips forward. And you drive the Lexus CT200H, you gotta sit upright. No slouching, no leaning, you don't have a lot of space to work with, but you wanna look mature? Do you wanna have style? Well, this is the car. You're going to make sacrifices. When a male filmmaker wants to catch women's attention, what does he do? You get an oiled up guy in a torn shirt coming out of the rain like he's walking off the cover of a supermarket romance novel. You get a woman to make the film. What does she do? She gives you a guy who listens and makes sustained eye contact. Because Fabio fantasies are great, but real appeal is a guy you can imagine melting into after your parents die. Nothing on this earth is hotter than having your shit together. The Lexus CT200h has its shit together. This is a car for the female gaze. Which is not to say that it's feminine. The opposite, actually. It projects the kind of self-assuredness that makes podcast bros uncomfortable.
Because what do you mean I can just live my life without telling everybody how badass I am? You think I do lat pull-downs for me? You think I'm jelking it for the love of the game? My entire business model is interviewing ex-CIA guys and reacting with a freight train of, wow, that's crazies.
The Lexus CT200h is a bit of a contradiction in that sense, because it was clearly built to be visually appealing. Crying out loud, the brochure itself admits that the F-Sport is purely an appearance package. It does nothing, no performance upgrades. In fact, there are no performance upgrades at all on any trim level for the CT200h. And so what you have is a car that wants to help you look cool while simultaneously not caring enough to actually be cool, because it's self-assured enough not to feel like it has to be. It's Ray Fiennes interviewing Tony Revolori, I apologize if I mispronounce your last name, Tony, as they walk through the lobby of the Grand Budapest Hotel. Lexus CT200h. For the man who can afford lip injections but chooses not to get them. For every guy who's quad-maxing and spouting off red pill rhetoric from his head-mounted labia majora, there's a guy in a Lexus CT200h depositing money into a joint Roth IRA, because his idea of self-preservation includes another person. The Lexus CT200h is confident enough not to overdo it, even though I know Toyota can do better than this. But this car is as much an act of restraint for Toyota as it is for the person driving it. The idea isn't that less is more. It's closer to what dinner is like at a really good restaurant. You don't use salt at the table because it's insulting to the chef. You trust that they've seasoned the meal properly, that everything in front of you is all you need, and your glass phallus of sodium crystals isn't welcome here. I really wouldn't expect anything less from a complete Japanese build. This is so far above a Prius it's suffering from oxygen deprivation, because this has a level of refinement that feels European. It's anchored around the experience of luxury, tight handling. Well, it's not too hard to be a better handling car than a Prius. Priuses don't handle, they're toasters. This feels like a car, which congratulations, you made a Prius platform drive like a normal car. It's an interior that's somehow plush, yet stiff in the way that it tells you that you're in the company of someone whose time has a monetary value. And it needs to be this way, because if it weren't, you wouldn't be able to overlook its faults, and it does have faults. The Lexus CT200h is a car that's in therapy. It's clearly more put together than the emotionally unregulated chaos merchants of corporate America middle managers, but it's got some things to work on. Again, that rear hatch, you can't, the utility, but again, you have to suffer for fashion. But also, this car gives you atrocious blind spots. It's a narrow interior, not a lot of headroom, and you almost hit your head on the ceiling, on the roof, if you try to head check left and right. You almost need to have the windows down to have headroom. And from an operational standpoint, why did they have to use the Prius shift device? It's not even a gear. This little flicky thing where reverse is forward and drive is back. It's just an electric switch. Just do the dial like Kia does. It's ponderous. But whatever, I'm driving this for fuel economy, right? From the factory, this gets 43 miles per gallon city, 40 miles per gallon highway. So yeah, it gets worse economy on the highway than the local roads because the hybrid drivetrain is supposedly less effective at higher speeds. Under 30 miles an hour, it will use its battery. So you can have an EV mode for a little bit and just use the battery to move. But even when you're trying to go fast, this doesn't really sound like it's trying to go fast. Plus, the gasoline engine has a ton of moose tubes and resonators going into the intake to just shut this engine up. It's like a teacher shushing you when you're already quiet. What am I supposed to not breathe? Can I reverse talk? Will that make you happy? I literally was sitting here doing nothing and you looked at me and put your finger up. Injustice. That's what I want out of Marvel. Childhood injustice. Being scolded for stuff you didn't do because you married the wrong husband, Mrs. Zimmerman. Anyway, this runs on the MC platform that underpinned the Toyota Matrix and the 10th generation Corolla, a platform that's been around in some shape or form since, I kid you not, 1997. Now, obviously it's been modernized here. Stiffer body, double wishbone rear suspension, nice, all of that. But the overall structure and powertrain is that of a third-gen Prius that knows how to golf. Real golf, not old man golf like I play. I play a game called Hit the Ball Only as Far as I Can See It. Lexus CT200h. For the man whose big flex at his high school reunion is that he mostly still looks the same. 2014 Lexus CT200h.
My hot hatch is best hot hatch because I have to park it at the valet lot in KOP. The regular person parking lot isn't good enough for my Lexus. Time to go give Time to go give 3-finger hand jobs and the Netflix house.
If you got the CT200h and you got the F-Sport appearance package, your MSRP was, in 2014, over $40,000 new. And while I think for fashion's sake it's worth it, I feel that that's only the case if you plan to hold on to it. Not just drive it a year or two and then flip it, because its value is going to be longevity and fuel savings. I feel it should have a pretty decent cosmetic longevity. This car still kind of looks new, because I don't think the auto industry is going to be moving away from this current curvy, compact, aerodynamic blob of body style anytime soon. But if you can find one of these for a relatively low price on the used market, and you're not scared of, hybrids or EVs, and you already have a truck or a van, or you just live the kind of lifestyle that you really don't have to carry cargo around, but you want a hatch, I say go for it. The Lexus CT200h has its problems for sure, but even with those issues, it's better as a canceled car than some of the hybrids that have outlasted it. I believe this little hybrid could become a future classic. It looks just so different from everything else on American roads. It's the correct size, it's quiet, it's sophisticated, and it didn't overstay its welcome. If this were a Bond actor, this would be Timothy Dalton. This car is only going to look better with age.